right. What's up, everybody? This is Changing of the Hip Hop Guards podcast. I'm your host, the journalist Sincere. That's my co-host, Uncle E. And tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with Cooler Ruler Divine. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yes,
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Let's go.
So we're going to take it back to your early beginnings and then work our way up to what you currently have going on in 2023. For those who may not know, can you take us back to where you were born and raised?
Brooklyn, where a lot of people don't know that because I rep Queens so hard. But I was living in Brooklyn for the first 2 years of my life, and then I just rode it all the way out in Queens.
So
get it.
Take us back to growing up Brooklyn, Queens, teenage years. Where were you at? What was life like growing up in New York?
Roselle, Queens, one of my favorite places to be because it was like the entry to New York because it was right by JFK. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the first towns that you know, and a lot of people settle here when they come to New York. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't go too far. They just go like close to the airport. So there's a lot of, there was a kind of like a turf war. Not really. I don't call it a turf war, but there was a lot of Italians that used to live around here that ran things. You know what I'm saying? And we had a lot of racist activity over here, but it kind of settled out into like more of a minority, populated area, and it's very musical, and I'm here to represent that.
Right.
So,
any obstacles you had to endure growing up in New York?
Yeah, like I said, with that racist thing, we got chased a couple times. Damn, they got killed. It was lucky we didn't. Growing up in New York, what else? They don't like us anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? That's about it, though. I love it. If you can make it here, make it anywhere. Right?
No doubt.
Right.
So talk a little bit about your, briefly your introduction, getting into hip hop. You know what I mean? What was some of your influences? What was it that caught your attention as far as even liking the culture?
Hip hop took me away when I was like, I was the only boy, the youngest boy, and I had friends on the block, but like I went to the school that they didn't go to. So when I came home, I couldn't bring my friends home with me, and the other, it was just a lot going on. But you know what I'm saying? I was like a latchkey kid, and I just got stuck in front of that TV and my mom's stereo equipment a lot, and I kind of got hot tracks, them days when Rock Box came on TV and all that, mesmerized. It just had me hypnotized. I couldn't believe it. It was an escape. I love what them cats was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like Rock Box, that video, like to me that was the moment. I think I was like really locked in.
Okay.
Aside from I knew like Sugar Hill Gang music, Curtis Blow and all of that, but I didn't really consider myself a hip hopper until that era. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, from then on, and then around then, Crush Groove and Beat Street and all that came out, Breaking and Wild Style. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So that was around the time. So let's say early '80s.
Okay. But so you think Run DMC had the heaviest influence on you?
In the beginning. They was that type of group. They was built like type of real. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just me. They took over.
No, definitely.
Right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So at what point, did you find yourself even thinking about like, let me take a jab at this. Let me see where I could fit in. You know what I mean? DJing, graph, breakdancing. You like, what was your first initial try at doing any of the elements?
I think the easiest, any of the elements. Wow, no, you just hit me. That I never thought about. I don't know. It's probably between drawing and rapping.
Okay.
And then when I rapped, I had to make some music to rap to. Okay. Then I ended up really wanted, I went the DJ route into a producer, and my favorite is the production.
Okay. Now, as far as the DJ goes, what were your influences? What made you say, like, damn, let me see what I could do with these turntables?
Just having, having. And I love the power of the DJ in the group back then, Jam Master J. You know what I'm saying? The two rappers and the DJ in the back and all that. I love that power. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not all about power, but it just was
the command. Yeah.
it was really influential or whatever. And just I just love that. I want to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And then just sometimes DJing is not just about like juggling records, going back and forth and picking songs and so on. Like I actually, reading the back of the labels and figuring out who made these records, and also trying to manipulate them before I even had like actual equipment to do it with. You know what I'm saying? Helped me to make songs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was really just, I was like a little further than just trying to learn how to scratch and so on. You know what I'm saying? Pause tapes and all of that.
Yeah, of course. So the blending, like putting, the one with the other, that kind of gave you that ear, like, when I go to the production part, it's kind of like taking it from that to the
right.
Not
I know a lot
MPC
of DJs
and all of that.
I know a lot of DJs that happen too as well. Yeah.
Right. As far as DJing though, can you name maybe like one or two that you might say were some of your top influences?
Influences of DJ?
Yeah.
I'll bring you to the day that I really was mesmerized by. It was remember Video Music Box had that episode with it was Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff was on there.
Okay.
And with Ready Roxy. I know you guys know.
Ready Roxy. That's the second time that name came up.
I'm from Indiana, so we wasn't blessed with Video Music Box till like later on.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. And he had a lot of DJs. I don't know where they were, you know what I'm saying? But there was a lot of DJs on that stage, and they were all displaying turntablism, at an early, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those dudes, especially Jazzy Jeff, and there was somebody else on that stage. It was a light skin. I don't know if it was Steady B's DJ, Tap Money.
Cash Money?
Tap Money.
Oh, Tap Money.
There's Tat and Cash. They both
Yeah. Tat and Cash Money. Yeah.
He's pretty nice.
Okay.
He's pretty nice. You never heard much about him after that, but he was all right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Were you part of any crews earlier on, or was you learning all by yourself?
When I was young, I was like thrilled to become part of this the dynamic breakers in my neighborhood. Like you know what I'm saying? Just one day I was outside. I don't know how I ended up there, but there was some dudes out there. They had the cardboard out. You know what I'm saying? And they was doing their thing or whatever. I guess it's organizing and stuff. And I had this one pop step that I used to do. I did it. It's like, oh, yo, you down with us? Yo, I felt like the shit that day. That was the first crew I was ever there with, Dynamic Breakers. But that was one day.
That's like they're well known though.
Yeah, but not the ones I was unless it's the same ones that they went on that became. You know what I'm saying?
So I could be wrong, but I believe so.
This was in Rosedale. I don't know where Dynamic Breakers are founded,
Unless they maybe never made it because they bit somebody else's. Maybe they bit somebody else's.
Could be. There you go.
Nah. Look that up.
But crews as far, well, I don't know how early you talking about.
Just learning, you getting into DJing. Was there somebody mentoring you at the time? Was everything, learning as you go, trial and error?
Learning as I go, trial and error. Wasn't really taught by anybody too much. That's why I like a lot of things I do is kind of unorthodox. Like people don't do it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really learn by the book, but I damn figured it out. You know what I'm saying? I could test a lot of people.
Right.
But, yeah.
Talk a little bit about the transition from DJing to production.
Sure, it's like it feels like one and the same, almost. Transition. Well, it was a lot of was De La Soul the first sample group? Because they were like my favorite group.
I know. I think maybe they were the first to get banged as far as dollar. Yeah, sued.
They were the first. Yeah.
Really?
Right.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you had you had a lot of. You had KMD was even sampling at the time. That was 80,
like 89.
That was 88.
Well,
but right before De La was like Stetsasonic. So there was a lot of. If there was any samples in records, it was just like it wasn't really samples. It was like scratches, or they would like incorporate sounds from records. But it wasn't like how De La. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they use anything but records in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, But right, so yeah, that they influenced me a lot as far as like taking like old like Motown records, putting it to a like a break beat. Yo, there's so many combinations you can come up with, and I had tons of them. I had tons of tracks like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you go from not just want to be the one that puts two records together, because it's like a blend on, you know, it's like a programmed blend when you make beats with just a sample and, you know, just samples, you know. So it got to a point that even back in the days, if you notice, a lot of hip hop, it sounded good, but it was like really noisy because it was record static in it. There was a lot of records that they blended together that wasn't on key with each other.
Right.
And they clashed. But it was just like rebel music to us, so we loved it anyway. You know?
Right. Can you talk
but as it went,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, as it went on, we wanted to clean that up. I guess we became more conscious of it. Even the sound of the music, just in general, all the producers were making, starting to get more like, okay, we can't just keep doing this. And I used to want to like really, like I said, I used to really study those records and try to figure out how they even making it, you know, I wanted to learn how to play them sounds aside from being in a band and learning the whole, you know, and I had these, you know, I had the equipment to do it, and I just try to emulate. First, I used to try to emulate songs. Like I would hear a record and then turn it off, try to find all the sounds in the song. Like I can recognize, okay, the hi-hat, kick, the snare, bass, guitar, whatever, and try to find the similar sounds in my sound module. And then I would practice playing them over. And not just playing them over, because you play it over, it sounds like plank, 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 plank. It won't sound like the record, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta know how to edit and your cadences and all of that. So doing that over and over again, you know, made me more professional, you know, and that's why I'm out.
And that's all self-taught.
Yeah, for the majority, it's like 85% self. Okay. I did get influenced, you know.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, as far as playing around with the sounds and even the notion of, you know, I want this to sound a little bit more crisp and get this a little more cleaner, you know, like, I mean, this is all coming from just you wanting to make better music.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And you want people to buy your music. You want people, you know, want people to buy your beats and so on. Right, so, you know, you want to be better.
Yeah, but like you said, though, at the time, the sound was kind of that gritty and noisy. Like that was sort of the norm. So, I mean, for you to think about, you know, maybe we might need to clean this up a little bit. Like that's kind of going, you know what I'm saying? That's thinking a little bit different, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because if let's say if you're selling the same thing that everybody else got on the block, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna have to make the same. You know what I'm saying? You got to change the game a little bit, go up ahead. Like I've learned this. But I didn't make this up, but I've learned that if you make music, you know, you shouldn't make music for today. You should make it for 2-3 years from now, ahead of the game. You should try to think ahead, because that's probably when it's going to come out.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Can you talk a little bit about your early placements? Can you remember what, you know, some of your first placements, groups, MCs, solo artists that your music found their way to?
Well, I did a lot of music with locals, like, you know, awful lot. That's what, you know, it was like brick by brick by brick. I ended up standing on top of the house, and, you know, I was able to get a placement with like Jam Master Jay through, you know, doing a lot of work with locals. But JMJ, an artist by the name of Kamar, she was part of the female Onyx, 4 in the clip. And the name was 4 in the clip, like a gun.
Right.
You know, and I had worked with them, did a couple of joints with them. I used to be in studio with them, you know, helping them, because they had a manager that was like, he was cool, but he was like, he was serious. He was cracking the whip on them. So like, yo, y'all gotta get this right today. We got this session, you know, da 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 da. So they was kind of a little scattered. And when I was in there, you know, it was a habit of me to coach artists and so on. So they used to be like really appreciative of that, especially Kamal. And you know, she took you know, it really helped because she felt like, you know what I'm saying, the world was on her shoulders and she didn't get her thing together. So they're also girls. So when girls are getting their music shopped around, a lot of dudes pay attention. So Jam Master Jay was paying attention to them because, of course, he has a group named Onyx. You know what I'm saying? And they're female. So Kamal shouted my name here. Yo, you got to meet Dex. He helped us out. And Jay pulled up on me. He pulled up on me. Randy Allen called my crib first.
Okay.
How you doing? Can I speak to Dex? That was my name at first. Let me speak to Dex, blah, blah, blah. Yo, this Randy Allen, Jam Master J's. I forgot what he used to do for him, whatever. We heard, you know, about the beast, and we trying to come see you. I said, but of course. And it was a summer afternoon where they pull up 4 cars deep. Beamer, Benz, Saab, Audi. And with Jay in the front. Jay and Randy Allen in the front. I was sitting on the front steps because I knew he was coming with my tape, my 90-minute cassette. Sitting next to him, whatever. Always had this tape with me, yo. There's a lot of beats on that tape, by the way, that went from Onyx to Lost Boyz.
Okay.
But that's a different story. And Jay just, when they pulled up, it really blew my mind because I just told you about Run DMC and all of that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I was going to ask you, okay?
Jam Master Jay pulled up on my block, and I tried not to be starstruck as much as I can. I did pretty good, right? I was just talking too much, trying to explain every beat. And he was like, shh. You know what I'm saying? Let me listen. And, you know, and he played the joints. And he really was. He's like, all right, listen, I'm going to come a couple of days or whatever. We'll come pick you up. We're going to go to the studio, blah, 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 blah. And then he ended up, you know, picking me up, took me around a little bit. And then we landed in, I can't remember what it was, Chung King, the first big house studio I ever been with the SSL board against the board and glass. The first time I ever seen it with Jam Master Jay or whatever, right? And we did the Shifty remix for Onyx. Shifty was I already knew Fredro Starr and all that from the hood. My peoples, my manager had introduced me to him. Yo, we got to work. We never worked together. You know what I'm saying? And they shot up Onyx. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up working with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Through Jam Master Jay, it was crazy.
That's crazy. So what Quasar, right? You were part of a group called Quasar.
Mm-hmm.
Is that prior to the story you just said or after?
They were developing during that. At
that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Quasar is like, I came across a lot of artists working, and I didn't really want to let go of all of them because they were like family, you know, everybody, and a lot of them kind of knew each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't work with all these groups one by one. All right, I'm gonna work with you so you get a deal, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you work on your project, but you finish your project and then I'll move on to the next. You can't do that.
Right.
So I kind of try to group them all together and say, yo, let's be a team. You know what I'm saying? First, we were the Nocturnal Project. This was pre-96, pre-1996 or something like that. And then one of our members died. And, you know, long story, whatever, rest in peace, Scam Dog. And at the same time, it was that Nocturnal thing was getting drawn out. Helter Skelter came out with an album called The Nocturnal, kind of, you know, popped our balloon a little bit.
Right.
And we just went from dark to light. See, Quasar is spelled QSR. Because QSR comes from Queenside Radio. Okay. Which started because I was DJing. And I was trying to put out mixtapes. But I couldn't beat the other DJs. No matter how many records I got from all these labels. And I would make my run up there to go pick up these promotional records from all these labels and shit. And try to come back and make a mixtape and put it out and run to the distributors, Muhammad and Abraham, Mustafa and all them, which make it happen. Every time I get there, I would look at the list of the other DJs, all the records that I got on my mixtape, they had already.
God damn.
So I'd be brainstorming, and I was just like, I had all these records though, and I had all the instrumentals to these records. So listen, I consider myself, aside from Weird Al Yankovic and the group, the Super Friends.
Okay. Yeah.
The first to coin that shit. Everybody does. Before 50.
Okay.
I can say that like a marinade.
Okay.
He got it from us. He don't live but 20 minutes away from here. And we flooded this place with tapes. I took all the instrumentals on them records that we had, trying to, cause I couldn't make beats fast enough for 7 groups, by the way. And I wanted to put some product out. So I took all the instrumentals off of those records. And I was like, I called them all in and said, yo, why don't we hop on these records and redo these records? Like make parodies of the records, use our own words, sing the same kind of chorus. You know what I'm saying? And that way we get some type of exposure. And it worked. I finally, I went to the, you know what I'm saying? When I went to like sell my mixtapes, they was moving. Nobody had these. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Nobody never heard nothing like that. We made 3 of them. We made 3 of the mixtapes or whatever. Cypher Sounds was on the second one. He did the flip side. We did the, and then the third one was a full 90-minute, both sides, and we were selling tapes. It was like 40 of us selling these tapes, you know what I'm saying? Taking them around, giving them out. I found it on eBay. You could look up Quasar Fan on eBay and find a tape selling in Paris. Oh, some shit I made in my mother crib. You know what I'm saying?
It's out of Paris.
Yeah. And so Quasar was we was a around that time that Wu-Tang and stuff was doing that. Like I really wanted to be like a RZA, like a Prince Paul, like a Pete Rock, like the Abbott of the beats for a bunch of artists. You know what I'm saying? So Quasar was my team, and that's what he was trying to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Were you signed to a production deal with any labels?
Never.
That by choice?
But no.
Just never materialized?
Right. It was never nothing worth it. I was an official nasty nigga. That was on with Jam Master Jay. But I wasn't signed as a the deal Jay gave me was he wanted 50% of my publishing. And we couldn't do that. We were still cool after that, but couldn't do that. My lawyer said,
Right. Yeah. At what point did the Lost Boys come into the picture?
Well, Cheeks was in the picture early, like since high school. Since I was in high school, I was like 1987, 88. No, 1990, around 1989. Let's say that. And I had a manager. So we'll call back. I had a manager who knew him. He was from his neighborhood. He grew up with him or whatever. And he's seen Cheeks in the parks, rapping a lot or whatever the case is. And he just knew him. He knew he was my manager was a hustler, and he was around. He moved to my neighborhood. He met somebody that spoke my name into his ear. And he came to my house one day, knocked on my window with my man's with the Sherlin on, the big Sherlin, and whatever, looking real drug dealer-ish. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yo, I heard you make beats, blah 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 blah. We need to link up." And then he came and got me one day and took me around, and he met me. He took me to meet this Cold Cheeks character that I've been hearing about on these mixtapes and all that. And we didn't link up. We didn't start off. It was an awkward meeting.
Okay.
But that's my brother right now. That's my brother. Yeah.
Now, what made it so awkward though? I mean, I kind of know how you are more or less, but what made that?
He's the same way.
Oh, okay. So you guys,
we're both Aries. That's why. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we were standoffish. We kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Like he's more street than I am. He's street. I'm hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little different. But yeah, we both love Marvin Gaye, Smoke. We loved it. You know what I'm saying? When that music came on, everything fell into place. So yeah.
So
let me fast forward to we split for a minute because we both stopped messing with that manager. That manager was bad news, but rest in peace to him. Okay. He was bad news, you know what I'm saying? So Cheeks went his way, I went my way. Like I said, we both Aries, so we both cut our manager off at the same time. You understand? Right? And then we bumped into each other at the Javits Center one time because I was selling T-shirts and he was selling T-shirts with his people, both of us. And it was just like we were standing in the lane or whatever. He looked, he turned, he said, "Dex?" I said, "Cheeks?" You dap each other up. He said, you still got the beats? I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, come with me to go get the act out the parking lot or whatever the case is. And I had the tape, the same tape.
The same tape from the Jam Master
This
Jay?
is years later. This is years later. I had the same tape in my pocket.
Please tell me you still got that.
I have it. I have it.
Nice.
I said, one day I'll send you a screenshot or something.
Please. Yeah.
So, for the viewers who may not know, what track did you work on with the Lost Boys?
Shoot, at first I did the whole first album at first, but then I got shafted on the singles by the label. I was young. I was 19 when I started making that. 19, 20 when I first made that album, and my production was dirty. It was a lot of static, a lot of the sounds were off key, you know.
Right.
And but the group loved it. I'd go boom bip, and they would start rhyming. You know what I'm saying? Like making a whole record out of the slightest thing I would do. You know what I'm saying? So I made let me run down. It's All Right, Straight from the Ghetto, Keep It Real, Channel Zero, The Game. I'm forgetting something. The title song, Legal Drug Money.
Mm-hmm. And
I think there's one more I'm forgetting. But and I wrote the hook for Renee.
Renee.
By the Lost Boys. I originally produced the song Renee by the Lost Boys, but they ended up just keeping the hook.
We lost Freaky Ty some years back. Any best memories you can remember of being with Freaky Ty?
When he wanted me to do beats for his crew, Jugga and Drama, his artist that he had. And like I told you, I had my team Nocturnal and all that. So I was really overwhelmed by working with them. And I didn't get the beats to him fast enough and he stopped talking to me. He was mad at me for a minute. And I didn't notice till one day. You ever get somebody that like somebody don't like you, they'll give you pound, but they'll give you like the elbow. And I beat that. And one day we was at the label, we was at Universal Records, and I just called him like they was waiting. They was playing a waiting game because they had to take a what do you call it? Like a class for media.
Okay.
Like when you be interviewed and stuff like that. And I caught Ty in the room and I just gave him an earful, not yelling at him, just saying, yo, Ty, you understand, man? Because me and him, we never talk heart to heart like that. Like all this music shit we do is just music shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I never sat down and gave him an earful. And he's not a man of much words, you know? And he just sat, he's a Taurus, by the way,
okay.
Right? He just sat there and he just listened to me vent. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, I just was trying to do what I do. It's just never no bad blood with you. You know, man. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted you to understand it. And he ain't say nothing. Right? So I still thought he felt the way. But later, before I left, he reached out. He gave me like the real dap now. The real dap. Right? You know what I'm saying? We was good for a minute. So that's my personal favorite thing to talk about with Ty.
Okay. Yeah, rest in peace, man. Freaky Ty. So you became somewhat like official, Lost Boys member,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I thought I was gonna be the Shot Skills.
Okay.
It didn't work out that way. It's cool. It's cool. I love them. We still, it's not. It just didn't turn out that way. When the label get involved, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you guys rock. I mean, you guys rock hard, man. And you still to this day, you and Cheeks, man. I always see you guys got something brewing. Whether sometimes you at his shows or you work,
Shameless plug.
Go ahead, because I was just gonna go ahead.
Go ahead, no, finish if you want.
I was just gonna say, I know you just did last album you produced, correct?
In 2020, I resurfaced enough Lost Boys music to make an album. It's called Grand Scheme 1226.
Yep.
And it's a combination of old music and new music. I had them come in and lay vocals, and a lot of the artists that were supposed to come out then didn't get a chance 20 years ago. I gave them their chance again on Grand Scheme.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So like, shout to Bobby Garcia, shouts to Jugga, shouts to Southside Drama, and Papa Don. Who else? Shaw Boulevard, Freaky Kai, and
which is
who else?
Freaky Ty's son, right?
Yep.
Freaky
And
Ty.
Mad Beats, which is Cheek's brother.
Mm.
He made the track on there too. Yeah, Keith Murray. Shouts to Keith Murray. He got on my album.
Yo, I don't know why when his name gets mentioned now, man, it makes me laugh. I mean, I know why, but that's a wild boy, man.
He's a character. He's consistent. He always been this way.
He is.
But I was real proud that he, because that's the first album I did. Aside from Cheeks, you know what I'm saying? That's the first album I did where I had somebody feature on it like that. Oh, not just him. Keith Murray featured. Horace Brown featured. Horace Brown, remember Horace Brown?
Yeah.
And Buddy White from the group Intro.
Okay. Yeah.
All of them was on the album.
Yeah. But now you've worked with Pat Poose, I know.
Yeah. That wasn't direct. We wasn't in the studio, but I do know Pat Poose because I worked with his brother on 5 CDs or whatever the case is. But it was like a feature, and I made the track. He knows about it.
Shout out to Pat Poose because I know what is he like head of
hip hop and TuneCore.
TuneCore, yeah. That's great. That's pretty great. That's a good look.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind Biggie's dreams?
Yeah, his name is the journalist Sincere. I mean, he's the true name, bro.
I love it. I like when he hit me with the questions. He's hit me with some clear, concise questions. I'm like, all right, good. Because a lot of people will hit you with some confusing questions. You're good too.
I just know you too well. Sir. I know what to ask and what not to ask.
All right, so quickest way I could get to it is it's back to me and Mr. Cheeks. We like Babyface in LA. You know what I'm saying? So one time we got called to do a What's the 411 remix. If you remember, there was Grand Puba and Mary, right? That's the first one. And then there was Biggie and Mary, right? Now they were gonna do some more remixes. At the time, I think they were gonna do like an EP full of What's the 411 remixes. And they called Cheeks to do one and me to do the beat. Legal Drug Money was still hot. We was matter of fact, I don't know if it dropped yet, but we was bubbling at that time. So we was a choice. So we went to make to basically got to the studio. This was I think directed by Tim Dog, Butt Naked Tim Dog of Uptown Records fame, Universal fame. And he wanted, what do you do? All right, he had the reel to reel, like a reel to reel, with a copy of What's the 411 on it, the tracks, right? It had Biggie's verse on there, had Mary on it, and a couple of elements from their beat. I had my beat, right? I came with my MPC 60 and everything, loaded the disc up, found the tempo, matched the tempo to What's the 411, and started loading in sounds and everything. So now you got Mary and Biggie rhyming over my beat, right? But we're gonna remove Biggie. We're gonna mute Biggie, right? Remember Biggie's verse for What's the 411 was? As I sit back, I think about. I don't remember the beginning of the Dreams.
Yeah.
Same first verse, right? So we muted Biggie out and put Cheeks verse on it. So now we got a whole copy. I think it's on. You can find it on YouTube. What's the 411 remix featuring Mr. Cheeks, and it's produced by me. And you'll hear what we did that night. Now, it flopped. They didn't pick it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, whatever case. But Tim Dog still had that reel to reel with the beat on it.
Okay.
On the Biggie's vocals, right? You see where I'm going?
Yeah. In
the beat, I did a breakdown, the Milk is Chillin' breakdown in my beat, right? It was the sounds, the drum sounds, the same ones that they use in Can I Kick It?
Okay, right? Okay,
yeah. So yeah, that's what I did. So next thing I know, not next thing I know, but after that didn't work, I had Dream Surface. I think Tim Dog played it for me or whatever, but I heard, the dong 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 with the same, Biggie's first verse was now, Biggie's last verse on What's the 411 was now the first verse, and I still heard my elements in the track, and it became a big ass record, and you ain't gonna find my name in the credits at all or whatever cases, but Tim Dog knows, he knows. And yeah, that's so now I gotta walk around saying, yeah, I did some production and that's me on the breakdown for Big's Dream. Cause look, when Nikki did it over, I'm sitting there waiting to hear. You heard they replayed the in Nikki's version too. I'm like, damn, I wish I could get a check for that.
But now,
Wow.
but was it too much of a hassle to try and get
Hell
something? Yeah, right.
Hell yeah.
Even though he knew that was your stuff.
Yeah. It's too much dirt over. It's too much. Nah, it's hard to uncover that. For me to go now and
not
say, yo,
now.
that was me.
Not now. I'm talking about back then. Like when you heard when it came out and you're like, yo, those are my, that's my sequence right there.
Let's start with the fact that I kind of borrowed Milk is Chilling. That's a bad start. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're gonna pay me, pay Milk. Pay audio too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Gotcha.
But things like that happen.
Yeah. I know. I keep hearing that as we've had other guests on here.
Yeah. So,
but the bad part about it is that somebody else benefits from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Well, I'll tell you this too, real quick. Tim Dog had told me one time. He said, "Listen, like I did a few little favors, like musical favors. Make sure that's clear. Right? Here and there with my name not on it." And he told me, he said, "Listen, I got you." And then he ended up getting me like a couple remixes. He got me a couple checks, like in return, even though it was work, but it was work he could have easily gave to somebody else.
Okay.
He made sure I got something,
Gotcha.
And the other songs, besides Dreams, the other songs flopped.
So catch us up on some of the other acts, solo as well as groups that some of the viewers may not know that you have been a part of.
That songs, I worked on a Ain't No Sunshine remix with Heavy D. Spent all day in the studio with Heavy D. For Soul For Real. That was the group.
Oh, nice.
What else?
Wait, you got something on one of theirs?
No. I'm telling you, man, a lot of sad stories. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of work that I did. A lot of work that I did that may not have seen the light of day.
It's not really a sad. I mean, I get what you mean, but still, you know how many people would die to just be in the studio with? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a good side and a bad side to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, what I do want to say though is Heavy D he's exactly how you expect him to be. He's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
He's just like how he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool as hell. Bought me lunch, all that, was chilling, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make this record or whatever. But what else? I'll Be Sure paid me for a verse one time for his artist. He paid me right on the spot. He wrote a check for me one time. He had this artist named Sunny. She had a record called Coming Back or whatever. And I actually, that was the time when R&B always had that feature rap on it.
Yeah. So you got some
Drew Hill, this one is out. This one is internationally distributed. The remix for Tell Me by Drew Hill features 8 bars by me, 4 to 8 bars by me, and under the moniker Big Dex. Underneath. So you can find that. You can look that up. Drew Hill, Tell Me remix.
So
I got paid for that. There's a bunch of things. I don't know this. I'm on the Lost Boyz got a record on the Bulletproof soundtrack, Planet Seed. Of course, I was getting a check for the Don't Be a Menace. If Don't Be a Menace while drinking juice in the hood plays on, is it VH1 or MTV at nighttime? I get $6. So that comes on. So, stuff like that. I got a lot of, I get a check from Navia. Remember Navia? She had a song called
R&B.
Yeah. She had a song called Just In Case and a sample of Renee.
Okay.
I was like, oh, nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, stuff
Hold
like
on. So wait. You mentioned about doing the hook for Renee. You said you produced the original, but how did that come about? How did you end up writing the hook for Renee and then getting placed on it?
because Cheeks never had it was one of those story rhymes with no chorus.
Okay.
So he had it in verse form. He like it broke up into verses, but it was just like when he stopped, it would just be the beat. You know what I'm saying? And he first did it. The first version I heard of Renee. I don't know if he wrote it to it, but the first recorded version of Renee was actually to "Don't Front." I know he got you open by Black Moon.
Oh, okay.
So the beat dun 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 dun. Now put it in your mind. There's a thing about a honey named Renee that I met one day. Yeah, that's what it was for.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just fixed that up. And then I did a new beat for it or whatever. Said, yo, try this. He hopped on it. He loved it. But again, it had no hook. And so in D&D, when we was recording the album, whatever, for like sometimes they would show up late. I get there early. You know, I'm hyped. I'm in the studio. What? You crazy? So I was there early every day as much as I can. And I told Joe Quimby, the engineer, shout out to him, to bring the song up. And I wrote it the night before. Oh, here's the thing. One time, Pretty Lou was in the studio. He walked out. They got their things going on. They young fellas. They got chicks on the phone here and there. And Lou walked out behind Cheeks one day, telling him some story about something. He said, "Don't you know? Ghetto love is the law we live by, Cheeks." He just walked out. They both just walked out. And I stared at him. I was like, "Yo," and I went home that night and I wrote that whole shit up. Ghetto love is the law we live by. Day by day, I wonder why my shorty had to die. I reminisce over my ghetto princess every day. Give it up for my shorty Renee. You're supposed to go give it up, but he just stops and give it up for my shorty.
So you specifically went to write a hook. It's not like you were writing and they used that part. You specifically were writing the hook for that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I came in the studio the next day and I laid it. I actually went in. So my voice was actually on the record saying the hook. Okay. So Cheeks came in and I said, "Yo, what you think about this?" And I hit play, hoping that he would dig it. And he started smiling. He said, "All right, I like it. And then he went in there and replaced it.
Okay. It's probably one of the dopest parts of the song, though.
Thank you. Thank you. I hear that a lot.
Nah, I mean, think about it. Come on. You say that hook, you know right away. How many can recite Cheeks' whole verse? No shot to you, Cheeks, man. We love you, man. No disrespect. But yeah, almost everybody can say the hook.
Yo, the videos you see on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Like I see the dude and his mother singing.
If you ask anybody, like, "Yo, you know that song Renee by?" Yeah, you talking about, you know,
that's
the first thing they're gonna say.
Yeah, just the different people. Like how many people were reached by the hook that have no? It's really because you're not gonna run up to people and say, "Yo, I made that hook." But you follow me. You see how many times I've said it already.
I know.
But there's still the outside world. I can't even.
You can't reach.
You know how many times I like the people pass by playing the song or singing it right in front of me, and I'm like, let me just leave it alone. I pulled up one time a long time ago on a car. This was when legal drug money had just dropped, and I was in my little gold Corolla that I was driving. Right, yeah. I pull up alongside somebody bumping all right on legal drug. My verse had just went off, and I made the beat, and I was around, and they was heading on and all that, and I'm in my little putt alongside them, and
I can't tell them.
Not because I was embarrassed. I was just like, you don't think they're gonna believe you. Like it's just so much.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling Ruler Divine this for years and years, man. I feel like it's like, I don't know. It's like there's a side of you that's very humble and like, sometimes you don't want to be like. Cocky. Yeah. But I'm always like, yo, put something like, again, it's kind of like, sincere. Remember like how we had Cool Kim on, you know what I mean? It's that same type of thing. It's like, like, jump up, man. Speak like it's like you want, as a fan, as someone that appreciates somebody's work, you want the world to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this is the dude.
Right.
But I definitely do.
Because nothing. Matter of fact, everybody that checks us out, that watches Change of the Hip Hop Guards, I'm telling you, Ruler Divine is nasty on the mic. Like, he can rhyme. Like, this dude should have albums out. He's nice. Like, nice. And I know you're going to be humble. I know, but I'm saying it.
I'm trying to put up all that catalog right now. Like they about there mixing all these old records. It's never too late, I guess, to just have the music up. You know what I'm saying? So at least it's documented or whatever. But thank you, E man. I appreciate it.
Come on. I know you get sick and tired of me, bro. I know it.
No, I don't.
I know it, but I can't help it. I don't. Your man. I would. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't champion, you know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell? What's the point? You know what I'm saying?
I don't. You just with people, man. You can't out here. You can't just run around saying, "I want my legacy to be respected." I don't want my legacy to be that's the dude that
I'm mad.
You know what I'm saying? Here he come again. I don't want.
I know. But yo, shout out to real quick. Also, you guys, the Lost Boys, the Unsung. That came out a little while back. I know you were on that too. But yeah, man. You got anything?
Spig Nice is home.
Oh yeah,
welcome home, Spig Nice.
Shout out to Spig Nice.
Just catch us up on what you're currently working on and what we can look forward to in the future.
All right, check out the artist that I boiled down to. I said, it's gonna be me and y'all that's about to do it right now. Let's just go. Let's just do it because I know they grind. They've been grinding for a long time, and they just every day they always making music, and I like people like that. So Jay Hardy did a whole album with Jay Hardy called Moon Juice. We got skits. We got another skit about to drop soon too. Check it out. It's a new funny line. This one I think is really funny. A lot of times it's just content, sometimes funny, whatever. This one I think is funny. All right, so then my man Shot of God. We got like a video company right now, MDG Cooler Beats Incorporated or whatever. And we do we did a video called Bloody Water, another one called Hate. You gotta check it out. It's all on my YouTube, Cooler Ruler. And CeeLo Money, real soulful sing rapper. Like you got that. I like to call him a rewind artist. You know what I'm saying? He got that mood music. You know what I'm saying? A lot of selections on a lot of songs that you like to put on your playlist because of how he sing. He got that deep voice, a voice you don't usually hear in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Then Jet Black, Just James. Yeah, I don't know if you had him on this show.
I had him on. Yeah. No, I had him on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man. He's cool. I like him.
That's my bro. He makes some great music.
Where's he from again?
Chicago? He was from Chicago, but he raps San Francisco right now. He's
right. Yeah, he's dope. I like it.
His album is called Chicago CA.
Yeah, right.
Dope.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay Hardy. Shout out to all of them, man. Anybody else? Did we miss anybody?
I ain't late. That's what I'm saying. Shout to Black Spirit. He's Jet Black Just James producer, and he's the Sometimes Why. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I hope I ain't forgetting nobody. Said Shot of God, said CeeLo, said Jay Hardy, said Jet Black Just James, Black Spirit. Shouts to my man Flames Cubano, and yeah.
Dope.
So, by the way, I gotta mention too, Ruler Divine might be. Man, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but he might be one of the first that had. Forgot, I lost track of how many people on one track, but it was. Would you have 40?
Oh shit!
Was it 40?
How I forget about that?
42.
I forgot about it because K Slade, rest in peace, blew me out the water.
Yeah, he did.
600 on the track.
He did.
No, but I did it twice. Twice in first in 2008 Mob Party with Mob's Dallas Rosedale Mob Party with 34 people on it, 4 bars apiece.
Okay.
And it was like, how long was it? 7 minutes, and it ended with Graph. Graph was the grand finale on that, and again in 2013 I did Mob Party 2 with a video this time, and it was 41 people on it. 41. And the grand finale was Mr. Cheeks. He's not from Rosedale, but he's honorary.
Right. Yeah, because I remember then K Slade came out and you were like, damn.
Yeah, I was mad. I was cursing. Nah, I really was mad. Cause I tried the Guinness Book of World Records and all that, and they told me that I picked the wrong title. I could have got it, but I should retitle it, and I lost the wind beneath my wings. I should have went back.
What you mean? Like they found it too? Like it might be a little too rough around the edges? The name?
I said the most artists on a 9-minute song or something like that. Most rap artists. They just told me to reword the title and resubmit.
That part. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, let us know your social media and where we can keep up with you moving into the future.
At Cooler Ruler. I want to say that too. E, by the way, there's no more Big Dex. It's not exactly Ruler Divine. That's my righteous name, Ruler Divine. But my name is Cooler Ruler, not Cooler Ruler Divine anymore. That, you know, a little more catchy.
I can't keep up with you, man. This guy, like, what the hell?
It's more catchy.
Yo,
you got to reinvent. You got to constantly reinvent.
No, I'm not. I agree with you, man. But listen, let me.
But I love how you reinvent this. Yo, I see what it is. Changing the hip hop guards is totally next level from last year and the year before. Yeah, I see what it is, man. Cheers to y'all.
Thank you. Man.
Appreciate that.
Man. Big Dex, Cooler Ruler. Man, thank you so much for joining us.
My name used to be D-Well. It used to be Boogeyman, Big Dex. It used to be D-Well. It was DNS. Definitely not a sucker. I had tons of names. Mystique.
Cypher Sound. Was Cypher Sound y'all DJ?
He was QSR's DJ. Yeah. He was QSR's DJ. He was literally on payroll too when we were signed because we was using him as an advisor because he was on Hot 97. So we needed some tips. Not tips, but like, yo, what you think about this record? You think it's ready? And he was like, all right, you know.
Okay, right. Cool. So yeah, once again, man, on behalf of myself and my man, the journalist Sincere, Changing Up Hip Hop Guards, we appreciate everything you have done and continue to do. Thank you for all your contributions to this culture that's getting ready to celebrate 50 years. Man, it's amazing that we're even here to be able to talk about 50 years. Crazy, man. Thank you, man, and much success with all your projects coming up.
Likewise, man. Same to you guys. Word up. Appreciate it. Really appreciate you having me tonight.
No